Trump.
All right, we're going to come back and hit you with some tariff updates because news is breaking. The first one I know of is Trump has just said, effective immediately, the tariffs on China move from 104%. Larry, I think he's trying to make you happy, up to 125%. So let's talk about that. Do we have the other? Okay, we got another one, too. I'm just going to keep giving them to you.
Yeah, here's the whole...
And... Dagan, I'm going to turn over to you.
No, you go, because there's even bigger news.
He's authorized a 90-day pause on tariffs that applies to reciprocal and the 10% tariff, a 90-day pause effective immediately. Look at the straight shoot-up line on your screen.
Yes.
Markets desperate for this news, and they got it.
For all countries?
I have authorized a 90-day pause and a substantially lowered reciprocal tariff during this period of 10%. Also effective immediately. You want me to read it, Larry?
Yes, please.
So 125% tariff on China because we crush you. How about that? Those were my words.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm getting down to no monetary. These countries.
5.5%.
Is the pause for all countries?
At my suggestion, it just says I have authorized a 90-day pause and a substantially lowered reciprocal tariff during this period of 10%.
Right.
Effective immediately.
These, as I said, these tariffs, by the way, are unsustainable anyway. So this is a reality check, but this is very, very good. How's the market must be doing?
It's on a tear.
Yeah,
so the Dow is up 3.5%. The Nasdaq is up 4.9%. The S&P 500 is up 4%. The Russell 2000 is up 3.6%. The Nasdaq 100, 5.3%. VIX falls to 40. Traders pare back all of their bets on Fed rate cuts.
It's the
90-day pause.
On 70, the other, based on the fact that more than 75 countries have called, the trade rep, commerce, treasury, and to negotiate a solution to the subjects being discussed relative to all the trade and trade barriers, non-tariff. These countries have not, at my strong suggestion, retaliated in any way, shape, or form against the United States to those 75 countries.
Oh, fabulous.
That's the way it sounds. I have authorized a 90-day pause.
He's giving them a 90-day pause.
So,
that's the way it reads.
And then he just ratcheted up China, so you got to imagine China's not on that list.
Right.
So
I would. This is so good because 70 countries coming in. You're going to make deals, but it's going to take time, resources. Okay, so he's pausing the whole process in order to make a deal. This is so good. And he's lowering these reciprocal tariff charges, which were way too high to begin with because they were based on trade deficits and made no sense whatsoever. So this is like a home run. This is, if I may, this is common sense Donald Trump.
And the market.
Common sense businessman Donald Trump.
The market rallied on this rumor, mistakenly reported on Monday, the same way it's rallying now. But on Sunday night, traders were telling me that that's what the market wanted. This was. You couldn't have given them a bigger gift.
This is phenomenal.
I have a serious question,
phenomenal.
Larry.
This is off the charts good. This is the most brilliant thing. He's such a realist. He's got, if I was in the Oval 100 times over 3 years, every time I was in, he'd ask me, what's the market doing?
Yeah.
The market said, no, you got them too much, too soon, too fast, etc. So he listened, and he's getting advice from a lot of people, I'm not going to name any names, about how to play this card. And he's got Bassett in charge of deals, and it'll all take. This is just wonderful. This is Trump at his best.
So 90-day pause, and then the reciprocal tariffs go down to 10% for these 75 nations that have not retaliated against the United States. But I wrote this down on my little folder that you said this was weeks and weeks ago. And I would bet you, and you can tell me I'm crazy, that POTUS and Scott Bessent like to watch the 10-year Treasury and the 10-year rate, the yield.
Yields are holding steady.
I wonder, given what happened with the 10-year yield and the 30-year, the long bond overnight, if that wasn't at least some impetus to, again, this is a door opening. This is a way forward for the United States and our trading partners who we stand strong with.
This is good management
Yes.
of policy. This is good execution of policy. It shows his flexibility. It shows his common sense. He's adapting to the reality, okay? Look, you had stock market vigilantes, you had bond market vigilantes saying, with this tariff thing, it's way too big, way too soon, way too far, okay?
Yeah.
He is right. I will back him on the crusade or the policy goal of stopping the unfair trading practices that have existed now for decades. He is correct. His idea of reciprocity, which should lead to freer trade and lower tariffs over time, is exactly correct. It's just terrific stuff.
Dow's up almost 6%.
Now
I just
he's
want to
adjusting,
point out.
right. I mean, this is so
Well,
joyful.
and we have a good
Rejoice,
problem because I
rejoice. Let
think,
us
correct me if
rejoice.
I'm wrong, we always talk about halting trading for 15 minutes when you hit a limit down of 7%. I believe that also applies to the upside of 7%.
Oh.
We're not there yet, but you have an S&P up
How much?
6.7%.
And what would the...
I thought the first limit up is 7, and then 13, and then 20. I know that to the downside. I think it also applies to the upside. We'll see. The S&P 500 right now is up 7%.
Okay, so
The NASDAQ is up 8.7% on the day.
You're out jockeying my bid to cover.
I know. See?
If you have the upper bounds, for the interventions, that's even better than bid to cover.
This
There are no circuit breakers on the upside.
On the upside, good.
There are no
good,
circuit
good.
breakers
so let her
on the
rip.
downside.
Just
Yes.
let her rip.
Wow. Wow.
Okay, so Larry, I'm trying to interpret what's happening here. This is a huge policy change relative to what we were hearing like 5 days ago.
Not
Hold
a
on,
policy.
let me finish, okay?
All right.
I got to ask a question. All
He
right.
did it. I didn't. I'm not the one. Thank
Okay.
Jesus.
So my
The
point
NASDAQ's
is,
up 9%.
Larry,
Yeah.
my point is, we've been hinting at this. This, to me, looks like confirmation of a sea change in terms of who has priority in the White House on advising on the path forward with tariffs and taxes and policy, Larry. Am I directionally correct on that?
Yes. I wouldn't, however, and I didn't mean to interrupt, honestly.
Happens all the time.
Look, Jackie told me to pipe down the
did,
other
I'm
time.
sorry.
I was fine with it. No, it's okay. You got to
I
whip me
was
in the
kidding.
shade. I love this group, everyone on this table. So look, the policy remains the same. What's changing is the execution of the policy. Okay, that's how I would interpret it.
Okay.
Now, your point about bond.
No, my point, I'm saying Bessent is driving. He's
That's
got
right.
the wheel, and the other guys are in the back seat at best.
Bessent is,
putting it mildly.
One of Bessent's terrific value adds, okay, is his knowledge of markets and market strategies and market developments. Okay, he's the link to the markets, as a good Treasury Secretary should be. Incidentally, we had Steve Mnuchin in Treasury. It was the same thing. I had because of my background, but it's what a good Treasury Secretary should do.
Right.
And he's reporting to Trump. Here's the thing. A news report Sunday, over the weekend, Scott Bessent flew down to Florida in order to get on Air Force One and come back to Washington with Trump. And they had a conversation about the markets and, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, all right? And so what happens subsequently after this plane ride, right? Bessent is put in charge of the deal making, and now this is earth-shaking news. The 90-day pause, is that what it is?
Yes.
Can I ask you a question on that 90-day
This has Bessent written
pause?
all over it. Yes, please.
So, and correct me if I'm wrong, some part of me wonders if a 90-day pause, I think it is good. Clearly the market's responding. But if I'm a business leader, I'm now trying to figure out not what I'm doing today, but now what my world looks like 90 days from now. Does that not delay some of the uncertainty, or is this confirmation that we can get deals done in 90 days? Was it Jamie Dimon or Scott Bessent was one that says these are 1,000 pages, we need months to get these deals done? If I'm a business leader and I'm trying to figure out if I'm hiring, firing, building or not, spending CapEx or not, what do I now do for the next 90 days?
Well, that's a super good question. I would look at it this way. Business people have to sees opportunities in whatever markets they're operating. So they're going to make a bet. I think some people might bet on a retreat. Other people said, no, wait a second. They're pausing to make deals, to make this much more manageable.
Right.
You know, most people believe that we should fight back on unfair trading practices. It's just that this was too much, okay? Wow. Now this is being pared down.
But this got them to the table.
Well, yes, it did, as a matter of fact. Yes, that's important. Part of Trump's negotiating skills. Bash him and then bring him to the table. That's what you do in the real estate business in New York. You kick them in the teeth, and then after this, they're done with the surgery, they come back and you get a better deal. That was a joke, but only partly a joke. So your point, there's a lot of opportunities here for businesses. Look, coming down the pike, we should get today, the House will pass its version of the budget resolution, all right? I made calls this morning. It's definitely going to pass.
Larry, I'm going to stop you for 1 second.
The tax cuts will be in there.